what are you talking about focusing on some ridiculous theory for 20 years or 40 or 50, you devoted your whole life to it. We gotta stand behind what we really believe in, and I'm not a genius. Interesting. Flint mentioned that he of course he has a passion for archaeology, but he really wants to begin trying to fight the anti-intellectualism that has taken root here in the United States. And anti-intellectualism is absolutely nothing new for this country. It's kind of founded on it, to be quite honest. But it has gotten worse, like, progressively over the years. And it may just be a matter of perception on my part, because I'm 33, so it's not like I've been around for so long that I am able to say, oh, in the 70s, it wasn't this bad, stuff like that. But having said that, since 2020, since the pandemic, I think it'd be really hard to argue that people, like humanity in general, but maybe I can't speak for the whole world. I can really only speak for the United States. But I personally feel like the national IQ has dropped by at least 10 points whenever I say that. So he wants to try to fight the anti-intellectualism here in the States. So do I. That would be great. I don't have any sort of credentials to back up anything I might say. So what I'm trying to say is I don't really know how I do it. Like, I really want to. Like, the want is there, the passion is there, the will is there. Where do I start? So maybe this is part of that start, you know what I mean? And there's a specific part of this stream that I wanted to point out on this stream, so let's check it out. This right here, what I'm doing right now, searching for the headphones, this is like 90% of my day. If not specifically with headphones, just with everything else, I am constantly in search. That is like all I freaking do, man. Maybe it's on here, I don't know why it would be, but maybe it is. I'll be right back. I'm truly amazed myself. I have no idea where they are. See, I'm not the right person to be fighting anti-intellectualism, right? I know that's two things that have nothing to do with each other. You can be a genius and still lose yourself all the time. I'm not a genius. Interesting.
A debate that I hosted on this channel with Dr. David Miano of the World of Antiquity YouTube channel. He's an ancient historian, and we had a debate over how I should have debated Graham Hancock and whether we can disprove a lost advanced civilization that was global. Here we go. Okay, so that is the crux of our disagreement. I think that we can disprove a lost advanced civilization. David here, you think it's improbable, I guess is how you put it?
Yeah.
So
I would go so far as to say highly improbable.
Okay.
Well, maybe it's the way you're using the word prove, but here's the way I...
See, I get it. Like, I understand why the guy on the left is like this, because generally, I am too. I like to be very precise in my language. And what this guy is trying to say, at least as far as I understood it, is that Flint shouldn't be making declarative statements like, Atlantis isn't real. And the guy on the left is saying, no, you shouldn't say that. You should say, there's like a 99.999999999% chance that Atlantis isn't real. And it's like, at some point, we gotta be able to we gotta stand behind what we really believe in. And if we don't, or he doesn't, or I don't believe Atlantis is real, we should feel comfortable saying Atlantis isn't real, and we shouldn't have to caveat or qualify or do any of those other things. The people that believe Atlantis is real or is at least likely to exist will take that language and say, see, let's just say Flint Dibble was the lead researcher on whatever would involve that. But someone, like I was saying, that believes Atlantis is either real or there is a high likelihood of it being real would watch something like this, or, you know what I'm saying, they would watch Flint Dibble say, Atlantis probably isn't real. There's a 99.9999% chance that this thing, this place, this city doesn't exist. And the people that are looking for Atlantis, not like, internet conspiracy theory people looking for Atlantis, they'll say, see, even Flint thinks there's a 0.00001% chance that Atlantis is real. So if he's saying that, it means I should continue trying to peddle this conspiracy theory. And I'm on Flint's side here. You gotta be able to say no. Like a declarative no. Like, it doesn't exist. There's absolutely zero evidence for it existing. So I'm not going to sit here and entertain the idea that it may conceivably exist. And it was also transported to the ocean through dimension hopping. That's why we don't have any records of it, because it wasn't built in the ocean. It was portal jumped into the ocean. Ha ha ha, got you there, don't I, Flint? Yeah, screw those people. You gotta be able to tell them, no! Stop believing this dumb crap. It's not helping anyone. And it would be one thing if it was at least entertaining. But after a while, it's like, okay, there's no new information. You've been saying the same stuff for 20 years. Aren't you freaking bored yet? Can't you find something else to occupy your time? That's like a huge one for me. It's like, I don't know if it's just my ADHD brain, but it's like, what are you talking about focusing on some ridiculous theory for 20 years or 40 or 50? You devoted your whole life to it. That just is so insane to me. And I am a freaking crazy person, okay? But let's continue.
I look at it. This is the way that historians cannot claim to have the truth. Okay? The truth is out there. There was a true thing that happened, right? The past happened, and we're trying to ascertain as best as we can what that is. But to claim to have the truth is going too far. Okay? Just in general, I'm speaking of. And that's why historians don't basically use probabilities, right? This is more likely to be true. This is less likely to be true, right? This has a high degree of probability. This has a low degree of probability. That's the way to talk when you talk about the past. And I think it should be the same in archaeology, because nobody can get into a TARDIS and go back and look at it, okay? You weren't there, okay? We just have...
That's a line that drives me up the freaking wall. And I don't believe this person on the left is using it in the ways that it drives me up the wall. But if you ever have gotten into an argument, I'm not even going to dignify the discussion by defining it as a debate, because there is no debate on evolution or young Earth creationism. Those things just don't exist, much like Atlantis. But I've argued with people that it's like, look, the Earth is older than 10,000 years. We can do radiometric dating and all these other things. And it's like, look at the freaking Grand Canyon. Like, what do you think that is? And they will say that. Like, you weren't there. You weren't there. You didn't see it happen. And I'm glad I don't have a concealed carry permit. That's it. That's all I'll say, okay?
Clues that lead us in a certain direction, and then we form a hypothesis based on those evidence. And then, you know, if the evidence is strong, we can say, well, that's probably happened. So that's why I don't like the word, we're going to prove or disprove.
So if we overthink that, then we end up not being able to say anything, because we
Yes.
hedge everything so carefully
Yes.
that we cannot communicate a clear point. And
Thank you.
And I think we have to communicate really clear narratives that are compelling, emotional, and interesting if we're going to get the public to start, trusting and believing and wanting to listen to real scholarship, because that's how the pseudoscientists communicate. They communicate with emotion and clear, compelling narratives. And so that's what works with the public. And so if we sit there hemming and hawing all the time, it's just, and I don't mean, we can use some qualifying words, probably, improbable. I'm fine with that. I don't think we always need to, as you know. That's what we're disagreeing on, you bastard. But I definitely think we need to work on communicating clear, compelling, and interesting and emotional narratives.
Yeah, and it's not just about debunking what's wrong. It's about presenting what's right in
Yes.
a palatable way that people are just as interested in.
See, that's where I think I might be able to get into the fight against anti-intellectualism. If I find someone who I feel is very intelligent and I trust them, but they don't like doing public speaking, they don't like putting their voice out there, but they would love to have their words out there, I could potentially be the vessel to bring those words to the people. you know, that's where I would come in if I came in anywhere at all, because I'm certainly not someone that's done the research. I don't have any kind of college degrees. I got a high school diploma and a certificate of completion from Wazoo University. So if I had the money, I'd go to college right now for psychology. That's like my dream. But that's not on the table right now. And if I could help with something like this, that would be amazing to me.
I do that with my travel videos. I love going around and looking at these things. And I try to make it exciting. But I wish I don't get as many views as my debunking videos.
It's such a real shame. We live in this world with all this pseudoscience, and a lot of people are hungry. They want to listen to why pseudoscience is wrong. But what really annoys me is that the best way to prove pseudoscience wrong is to just get people on board with real science and to inoculate them with the real evidence that we actually have. But whenever we put out...
Let me see. There it is. Inoculation. We're gonna inoculate the anti-intellectuals. I'm a mushroom farmer, just so you know. I didn't just have that laying around for no reason. I inoculate grain spawn jars with syringes. So whenever they said inoculation, I was immediately like, where's my syringe?
Without those kind of things, even our fans, the fans of real science, they're not as interested in seeing us do a debunk takedown.
I feel like I'm a fan of real science. If someone were to hand me a script that I could verify is accurate, debunking just whatever, I would love to do that. Oh my god, I would love to do that so much.
Yeah, but I will say this, if I put out a video titled like, Flint Dibble is an idiot, or something like that, people will watch it.
I'm going to change the name of this stream to Flint Dibble is an idiot.
Yeah.
It's...
So David Miano's next video is titled Flint Dibble is an idiot. He told me so today. No, I'm joking. So look, but on that point, I see that, for example, we have less than 200 people watching right now. And this...
I think I got 0, bro. I get them on the, when I edit it and put it up on my channel.
This is a problem. If we want to make real archaeology cool again, if we want to actually have this kind of stuff take off, what I need is for some of you that watch this recording, before we move on to our last segment, I know everybody's here for the last segment, but before we move on, I want to emphasize, if you tune in live, that actually helps the algorithm promote.
Come on, Baba Booey. Sorry about that. Why? What have I done? I can't see it. I'll move myself. Baba Booey, he's here all the time. He's usually such a positive dude. I'm staying on the internet, Baba Booey. And if you got a problem with that, you can tell it to Howard Stern's penis.
Reads that kind of stuff, giving a like, leaving a comment, all of these kind of things.
Yeah, do that stuff, but on my channel. But I would love to join this fight against I would love to join the fight against anti-intellectualism. I see it all the time in my personal life interacting with people. Like, believe it or not, I'm somebody that sends long text messages. And I've had people say like, bro, I'm not reading all that. And it's like 2 paragraphs. 2 paragraphs. And they're like, oh my god. It's like, I gotta communicate the information. Like, what do you want from me? And, don't call me though. So that's the main thing I wanted to check out. I just wanted to, once again, shout out Flint Dibble, because he needs it. No, I'm joking. He's an awesome dude. He wants to fight stupid people in the... What were those people saying all the damn time back in the day? Those intellectual dark web people? Like, something about fighting it out on the... something stupid. I don't know. Those guys all ended up being such a damn disappointment, except for Sam Harris. Sam Harris is actually intelligent. I just think he's so boring. I can't stand listening to him. Unless, like, it's a specific clip that someone links me, and I'm like, okay, I can do 5 minutes, that's fine. But to sit down and try to listen to his podcast, I just fall asleep. But that's fine. All I wanted to do was go over this. I want to do some more streams later, of course, not today, but in the future. So if you're seeing this live or you're watching the re-upload, subscribe to my channel. I'd appreciate it. But until then, I'm gonna get out of here. Bye.